Well, look, when we were in power last time, there was a global financial crisis, but we also had a national minimum wage, made the bank independent, didn't join the single currency, and secured the future of the National Health Service. So I think we did some good things, but I've said today in my speech, first of all, we have to learn lessons from what went wrong on immigration and bank regulation. Secondly, we have to make difficult decisions to balance the books, and we will. And thirdly, we have to show working people, unlike the Tories, will actually reform our economy to make it work for working people, a higher minimum wage, better childcare, fair tax cuts, not tax cuts at the top. And I think people will look at this and say, David Cameron, George Osborne, they're completely out of touch, but Labour is listening, they're learning, they're credible, and they will deliver an economy which works for us.
Yeah, nevertheless, though, polls out today show that you lag by 25 points behind the Conservatives on perception of economic competence. How are you going to win voters' trust back?
Well, look, the general election is the poll which will matter, and that's next year. We've led consistently in the polls, but I'm not complacent.
So what are you going to do to get that trust back from our viewers, from the voters that you want to win?
I'm going to set out the tough policies we need to make to balance the books and to do so in a fairer way.
But you're also proposing to cap child benefit at 1% for an extra year. I mean, of all the areas that you could target, why are you deciding to target families?
Well, we are targeting families with more help and support by extending free childcare for 25 hours. Our 10p starting rate of tax will help many more families.
Last year you said this policy was deeply unfair. Why have you changed your mind?
Well, my problem is George Osborne's going to leave a very large deficit, and I will not be straight with people unless I say that we're going to have to carry on with some difficult decisions. I want child benefit to rise in the next Parliament. It's not risen in this, but I'm going to say we'll have to limit those rises to 1% for the first 2 years, because that delivers £400 million to help us get the deficit down.
But that's a drop in the ocean, Ed Balls. I mean, the deficit's at £75 billion. £400 million sounds like a lot of money, but it's actually not going to make any difference at all, is it?
Well, as you just said, it sounds like a lot of money because it is a lot of money. And it's one of a number of things we need to do to get our deficit down. We need we need the economy to grow. We need people in work and paying more tax because their earnings are going up and they're still falling under this government. We need to make sure that we are tough on waste in public spending, and we've set out today, for example, we'll abolish the waste of police and crime commissioner elections. And then on tax, we're going to do things in a fairer way, tackling tax avoidance, putting the 50p rate back up. But I can't, in all candour, to say to people that I can only do this by raising taxes on the richest. I'm saying that a 1% cap on child benefit for one more year can make a contribution to getting the deficit down.
That was Ed Balls talking to me just a short time ago. Well, our political editor, Andy Bell, joins me now live. Hi there, Andy. What did you make of what he had to say?
Well, Emma, clearly that is the central message he's been trying to get across today, that he wants people to believe that you can trust Labour again with the economy. And he had a central promise today. He said that there would be no promises of new spending in any Labour manifesto that had not already been costed, that had not already been paid for by finding savings somewhere else. In other words, there would not be new borrowing to try and fund any new promises. Incidentally, tonight there's a lot of speculation here that there's going to be an announcement about new funding for the NHS tomorrow. How are they going to fund that? We'll find out. Incidentally, also, the reception that Ed Balls got in the hall today from the party was quite interesting. Yes, they stood and they gave him an ovation, but there were a lot of people who were clearly unhappy with the central message. You think he's being far too cautious. When he was talking about, for instance, maintaining a cap on the overall welfare spending, there were definite rumblings of discontent from people in the conference hall. And the man who really got a spontaneous standing ovation from the hall was Len McCluskey, the head of the Unite Union, who said Labour had to lose its fear and become the party of socialist change. So there is clearly a lot of people within the Labour Party who think the leadership is being too cautious. All I would say is the leadership may be happy with that. If it can be seen that they're having a row with the left of the party, they probably think that will do them some good with voters out in the country.
OK, Andy, thank you very much.